And so there's also a misconception that line fours are, have this huge network and are connected to everybody. But in my experience and other people that I know that have line four, yes, they do have communities and networks, but a lot of times their
Hmm.
real solid ones are a lot smaller than you would think.
I mean, with, with your your close friend group, you guys no longer call it a circle. It's like a line, right?
I think
So
it's a
you guys.
dot now. I don't even know if it's a line. I mean, seriously. Human design reveals who you are energetically and who you came here to be. I'm Dana, your human design guide.
And I'm Haley on this journey with you to uncover the power of human design.
Together, we're here to explore how embracing your authentic self is the ultimate path to a life of more freedom and fulfillment.
Welcome to the Human Design Hive podcast. Let's get into it.
Well, hello, Haley. How you doing today?
Hello. Good.
Good. Good to see you. Good to see you. Got it. Oh, sorry.
My eyelashes got stuck together. Okay, I think I'm okay.
Hey, I know. I went to the beach yesterday and it was so windy. And, when it's that windy on the beach, how often you have to clean off your sunglasses because you don't
Hmm.
realize you're like looking around going, why do I have such like goopy
Why is it so
eyes?
blurry?
Clean them off and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Anyways, so sorry, we digress. Welcome back to the Human Design Hive podcast
Hello.
with me, Dana, and my lovely daughter, Haley. She's
Hi.
waving to your ears. We
Yes.
do we do publish these as video podcasts, but I've been thinking that that's on the Substack. I don't know. I might be changing that. I might still do the video podcast over on YouTube, but I don't know. I might switch it up. Just do the audio posts
Mhm.
on Substack because I don't really think anybody's watching the videos
Mhm.
there. Most people are listening to the podcast. Just things are always shifting, changing,
Mhm.
and
I'm trying to figure out if this need to change things
Mhm.
is a generator thing or a line one thing because you and Pressy do the same things.
maybe both. It could be a generator thing of refining and perfecting and trying to get it right and like building. We're building
Mhm.
here because line one, though, and we're going to be talking about the last profile today, the 4-1 profile,
Mhm.
being that myself, doesn't really like or it wants to create those foundations and stuff,
Mhm.
but it's always building as a generator. And I run the opposite sometimes of like not changing soon enough, but we'll get into that in a minute. Hold that thought.
Mhm.
But anyways, that being said, there may be a week or two in August. I'm not sure yet, so I don't want to announce it, but there may be either replays of the podcast or I might just do a quick update for the podcasts for the podcast players to keep me top of mind, but a little reshuffling maybe of
Mhm.
the platform distribution and also us gathering our thoughts and where we're going with this into the last part of the year, which is hard to believe. We're in the middle, but you always
Mhm.
got to be looking ahead to what's coming up in September, October, November, and December. But in the near future, excited. I've got about a week until I get to see you in person
E
again.
East.
Very
So
excited. We
excited.
just spent the last 45 minutes talking about that before we came on.
Yes, always.
That and many other things.
Mhm.
So it's a very exciting time. My sister will get here, I believe, on the 18th, and
Mhm.
then you will get here on the 21st,
Mhm.
and we'll have our little trio. So
Yes.
what's interesting is that we will have the community call that Wednesday, the
Mhm.
23rd.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about, well, of course, you'll be here. And we've done that once
Mhm.
before where
Yes.
you're in the room, but I think we should bring Nancy in too,
I think we should.
because she's a 4-1. So this is
Uh-huh.
relevant, which is odd. 4-1s are supposed to be rather rare, but my sister is one as well. And so she'll probably just sit there and be like, I don't know. She doesn't follow this as much as we do.
But
But
we talked about her, so now she'll probably listen to this episode without
I
knowing it.
know. Or if you want to meet Nancy and you've heard us talk about her, come to the call on the 23rd of July. Make sure
Uh-huh.
you're on the mailing list so you can get the details. But
Mhm.
I was trying to think, can we all for can we so head here,
We
head
might have
here.
to stagger. We need stadium seating.
We could do it. We could do
Uh-huh.
it.
Yes, my twin.
Anyways, looking forward to that. But let's move on to the topic at hand today, the 4-1 profile. So we've been doing this profile series for 12 weeks now. Well, actually longer because we've had our transit episodes
Hmm.
in there as well. But we've been wanting to dedicate one episode to each profile separately because it is a big undertaking.
Hmm.
Because you'd have to be patient to hear your profile. I've gotten feedback on people who've enjoyed the episodes, which is good. But I also just wanted to keep it as a standalone resource here if you want to go
Hmm.
listen to about a profile. And profile we like talking about because it's something everybody can really relate to, especially
Hmm.
coming into human design. It is one of those things that's like, oh yes, that's me.
Hmm.
Because usually type is not.
Yeah.
It may be
I
like,
feel like it's like the first big light bulb moment when you first
hmm
kind of come to this system.
hmm yeah, there seems to be like very little resistance around identifying with profile. You notice like a
Hmm.
lot of other things there is because we've probably been doing it wrong, quote unquote, wrong, or as we like to say, we've been conditioned to behave differently than we are designed. But, you know, as far as like the types go, and I think it's because it's an interaction with the field kind of thing of like you need to respond and you need to do it this way. And I think
Hmm.
we've all been kind of taught that there's just one way of kind of building a life or getting things to happen in your life, which is the manifestor way, which is just do it, just do it, just do it. And so that's only manifestors are only 9% of the population. So the rest of us are left like thinking like, what the hell? What do you mean? So
Yeah.
that's not, we've been made to feel that we're doing it the wrong way. But then
Hmm.
profile is a little bit more forgiving, I guess, in a way that
Hmm.
it just describes there's not really I feel like type sometimes it's prescriptive advice, like try this instead because this is how
Hmm.
you're supposed to operate. And then we've been working against our type, but it feels like profile is more like it's just so innate and
Hmm.
natural in how we learn, how
Yeah.
we take things in, how we share things in the world. There's
Hmm.
definitely conditioning around it for sure. But
But I think
in
it's harder to be conditioned because it is like you said, it's just so natural. It's just like it's so easy for people to see because they're like, oh yeah, that's absolutely how I learn or how I interact with people. Like it's
Mhm.
just very like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and it being this representation of both the conscious and unconscious sides of yourself, like for you being a hermit, it's I think realizing when it's been put out like line two, this is what line twos are like. You're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense because I do feel this need. Like there's this part of me that wants to be out in the world and feels like she has something to do, but then there's really this the what feels like another part of me. It's like, maybe not so much.
You're like, I just wanna do my own thing.
Maybe not today. Maybe
Just leave me alone.
I'll figure it out over here. And so it's interesting because they talk about well, first of all, profile Haley. We should say this first.
Yes.
If you're unfamiliar and this is your first foray, which even though this is a 4-1 episode, maybe not as much listenership here because it is a rarer profile. But where do we get the profile designation in your chart?
Mhm.
Where does profile come from?
Yes. So it's going to primarily come from the sun and the earth placements, which is going to be your first two numbers on either side of your chart. You're going to find the first line of your profile is going to be the decimal point from the right side of your chart. So the black
Black
numbers.
note.
So it's going to be whatever is asked for after the decimal point on the right side. It's going to be your first line of your profile. Second line is going to be the same thing, just on the left side on the typically red numbers.
hmm Yes, and the full numbers there, the let's say 64.6 or the 14.4, such as ours, that is the gate that the sun was transiting through. So it's the sun and earth gates
Hmm.
that the sun and earth were transiting through. On the black side was the moment you were born, and then on the red side, it's the roughly 88 degrees 3 months before you were born. And so these are major themes in your life, these gates that you were born under, because the sun is such a huge part of your expression, of your personality, of who you are, all
Hmm.
these things, right? And so those gates represent certain themes, characteristics, gifts, talents, all that stuff. And then that profile line number is really an extra seasoning, I think you like to say, or
Hmm.
flavoring of how that gate gets expressed, right? And it's based on the gates, and these lines, these profile lines are based on the hexagrams in the Chinese I Ching. So the Chinese I Ching has 64 hexagrams. Each hexagram has 6 lines, starting from the bottom line 1 up to a line 6. And that's what these gates have, is the sun, when it moves into a certain gate, it stays in that gate as it's moving around the mandala for roughly 6 days. And so each roughly day will
Hmm.
have a different line number associated with it. So
Hmm.
you're born on a line 4 day, you are a profile line 4. So let's talk about, before we get into the specifics about the profile, what those lines represent as far as how it either influences the gate or what the main themes are, sort of, when we're talking about profile lines, particularly not hexagram expressions, but profile lines in the human design
Hmm.
system. They have an analogy of the house. So
Yes.
last time, Haley, you're going to bring it home to the house of how this house analogy helps us understand the roles that these 6 lines play in profile. Take it
Yes.
away, Haley.
All right. So, just a standard two-story house.
Hmm.
Your line one is going to be the first floor, the actual floor, the foundation. It's just very much foundational, likes its stuff, likes its
Structure,
information, structure.
stability.
That's your line one. Line two is the first floor windows, but the curtains are open, so the line two can be seen from the outside.
And they're doing its thing.
Yep. The line three is gonna be, I think it's technically, which I haven't specified most times, it's a spiral staircase up to the
Oh,
second floor.
oh, fancy house.
Fancy house.
Fancy,
uh,
not functional. It's a spiral staircase.
I would get so dizzy.
I hate them.
So that's your line three. It's transitioning up to the second floor. Your line four is going to be similar to the line one. It's the foundation of the second floor, but it's different as because the line four is more relational. Haha, I got it. It's more relational, and in a normal house, the second floor is well where you'll find a lot of your bedrooms and your more community kind of. And then the line five is the second floor windows with the shades closed, but as I like to say, the little line five is peeking out. Uh, and then the line six is going to be your roof because it has a very forward looking view. It sees the whole neighborhood. It's just kind of chilling.
There you go. That's right. And so put that all together. Basically, it is the bottom 3 numbers, the 1, 2, and 3, foundations, learning how to do things just through your own process is the line 2. Line 3 is experimenting, trying, and getting ready to bring that
Hmm.
information out into the world, which is what the upper trigrams represent, is how you share your experience, your knowledge, your process, whether it's line 4 through relationships, line 5, kind of this universalizing energy that impacts strangers of consequence, as you like to say. And then the line 6 is the embodiment of all that and what it means, these main themes in this gate of that expression of that gate, looking forward or looking, yeah, to the next gate. That's why it's up on the
Hmm.
roof. It's like got a long view of everything. And so What we're
Mhm.
talking about today, the 4-1, then, is we're talking about the foundation of the house, the line 1, and the foundation of the second floor, the line 4. So, this line 4, as we've said a couple times now, excuse me, this 4-1 profile is what they say is a rarer profile because it's only 2% of the population. As we talk about this progression of the sun moving through the mandala and moving through the gates, really it's this window of time within this transit period where the sun is in the, let's say for my example, gate 14. When it enters gate 14 on the
Mhm.
conscious side, I'm going to get a little deep here for a second, but basically, if you take the time to look at how a gate, how the sun transits through the gate, all 6 days, that conscious side of the chart, it's all going to stay in the 14. Let's, for me, it's all going to stay in the
Mhm.
14. On the unconscious side, there is a shift in the gates there that happens there because they're happening at a different time. They're happening 3 months prior or whatever.
Mhm.
So when the sun enters gate 14, those first 4 days of that transit has a certain pairing of gates on the side. And then it switches over to a different pair of gates on the other side, on the
Mhm.
unconscious side. There's a little bit of window of time, which is about, I gauge around 2 to 3 hours, where there is this transiting energy as it's moving that is that 4-1 profile. It's a very and I don't know why it does that. It just does it. I've gone deep on it. I've looked at it before. I'm like, "Oh, okay. This is where you will find like you can go through genetic matrix and can do it by hour by hour by hour to
Mhm.
see, which I've done to see when
Mhm.
exactly it shifted into a 4-1 on the day or whatever I was born. And so it's a small window of time, and that's why there's only 2% of the population has it,
Mhm.
and those that have it have what they call a juxtaposition cross. And that cross is main theme is going to be the sun gate of that
Mhm.
pairing for me, 14. So
Yeah.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself there.
I
Go ahead.
I just have a question. It's very specific to you and Nancy
Yeah.
because you said you guys were born. She was April 20th, you're November
Hmm.
20th, several years
Hmm.
apart. I just love both the 20th.
I do too. It's always been very odd to me that we were
It
both
is.
born on the 20th.
But I want to, was the time of day that you guys were born similar? Like, I know
Mm.
obviously different days, but like,
No, I think she was born earlier than I was born at 6:06 p.m. I,
mhm.
I think I don't think she was I would have to well let me look it up real quick.
Okay.
Let me pause that for 1 second.
Asking.
But no, after consulting, no, she was born at 8:55 in the morning.
Mm,
I was born at
okay.
6:06 p.m.
Because I
But
was just
four
curious.
years and 7 months apart.
Yeah. I was just curious if there was, if the time had any further,
Well, no,
not really
because
coincidence, but correlation, I guess.
oh, for us in particular.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because it does shift throughout because we've said it's not an exact
Mm-hmm.
amount of time that it spends in each gate. It's
Right.
roughly 6 days, but there are certain times where it's a little bit minutes count as
Mm-hmm.
far as sooner or later. And that's one of the things I look at when I'm writing someone's chart and they may not know their birth time is, that's one of the big things that can also help as you look at their type, their definition, but also their profile to try and nail it down because like that's why I've had such a hard time with your dad's because
Mm-hmm.
I mean he could be one of three profiles. There are certain things that do not change like his type, but
Mm-hmm.
like his authority could change and without getting him involved in it. I keep trying to think of clever ways to kind of detective my way through figuring it out because I
We
will be
need
dead
to,
set on him being a 1-3.
uh-huh.
And then if I step out of my knowing, certainty that he's a 1-3, as we've talked about these profiles, I'm like, he could he could be a 6-2. I mean,
Mm,
he could
I
be
could
a six
definitely see,
three.
I could see. I think definitely not a one. Like I don't think he has a one in his
Yeah, I
profile.
don't think he is.
But I
Yeah.
could two or a three for sure.
But the bothersome thing is that they tell me that the fan because we don't have
They
an actual birth time. Parent, his dad had no clue, and his sister is the only one, the oldest one, having a recollection that she thinks that it was in the evening because they were getting ready for bed. But I also think because they're in the jammies, I'm like, well, maybe they were
Mhm,
waking up. I don't know. It's hard
mhm.
to nail down
We
because
need to when I'm there, we really need to dive into this.
yeah, it's hard to find without a because he was also born before most states were required, I think, to keep track of time. And then they do this stupid thing in a lot of states, like they do here, like you and Lakeland in particular. She has that certificate of live birth, like it's good
Doesn't
for
tell you
school.
shit.
Doesn't tell you anything. Like, and I was like, why do my kids have? And I remembered I did specifically pay for at Vital Records to get your actual birth certificates with all the details
Hmm.
on it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they just give you this thing that says,
They're
yeah,
like,
you were
you
born
were
here.
alive.
You were born on this day here in this state. You can go to school here. That's basically all it is. But for those of us that are interested in real things like astrology and human design, it's not helpful at all. Anyways, I digress.
Yes.
So, God dang, where were we? 4-1. Oh, I went through the very complicated
Mhm.
explanation of the 4-1 because I am a 4-1 and I felt like you really needed to know where that
You
came
needed
from.
the information.
I'm sharing it with you. And that is the main
Mhm.
theme of the 4-1 is foundations. Like,
Mhm.
okay, line one, foundations is all about the world, like how things work, why
Mhm.
things work, why they are the, go
It's
ahead.
they love an information safety blanket.
Absolutely. It's like, and it's not even something we're aware of.
Mhm.
You are doing it whether you're aware of it or not. That's that
Mhm.
unconscious line one.
Anytime we're watching a movie, you're like, where do I know this actor from? And next thing you've gotten their whole filmography up. And I'm like, what's their height?
That's right. Don't have to look that up. I can just tell you. I know your dad doesn't even know this stuff about me, but it's annoying when we're watching something and he'll be like, "Hey, you look that up." I'm like, "I'm not looking it up. Don't tell me what to do."
And then you're
Oh,
like, shit, I want to look it up.
you look it up. I'll look it up. Anyway, sorry.
Uh,
So, yeah. So,
Foundations.
foundation. So line one's the foundations about how and why the world is. It learns through, as you said,
Hmm.
research,
Hmm.
knowledge, gathering information from other sources, like
Hmm.
as
I
much
don't
as you can pick up.
I don't say it when I've gone through the house analogy, but I like can I envision the lines, the numbers doing the thing in the house. So like
Mhm.
to me, the line one, I can see it. It's like in the corner or like laying on the ground and it's just like got books scattered around it. It's just
I thought you were going to
reading.
say laying bricks or cement.
No, no, no. It's like it's reading. Like it's just there absorbing all this information.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and that's what it does because it's here to create this foundation not just for themselves but for the rest of us. And we think
Hmm.
about in the context of what we were talking about in the gates or the hexagrams, it is the foundational knowledge of in this case of like for a gate, like say your son would be in my case would be like 59, it's my unconscious 59 line 1 is the foundations of those what the themes are in gate 59, which is intimacy and connection and all that stuff. But at the same time, it's not just about that. It is the way that the line one moves through the world in order to make sense of the world and to learn about the world. And it's meant to build that foundation not just for itself in this instance. In this instance, the pairing with the line, the conscious line four, is its information that it wants to bring to its people, its
Hmm.
community. They say that the 4-1 is like the ultimate like influencer because they can really go deep on something and then they can bring that to the people that they care about and that they want to share it with, things that they think they want to know, right? That's the overall feeling there. That line four is kind of all over the place here. So that line four, no formulas here. That line four, as we said, is called the opportunist. It's very relational, and it
Mhm,
is getting to the foundations of what it means to be in relationships. So its opportunities usually come through the people they know because the line four is seen as a very friendly personality. And I would say friendly, not in like I'm like, hey, everybody's like, hey, friendly, blah, 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 I'll
mhm,
talk to anyone. No, it's that you genuinely have an energy about you that others feel that way. And because that's part of how you interact in the world is connecting with people. And
mhm.
people are important to you. It has the name opportunist, which makes it feel like they're not important because we're
Sleazy.
always, yeah, because we always say somebody's an opportunist. They're just looking to connect in order to like get something from them. But in this instance, the line
Mhm,
four does care about its connections and its people. It's very important to them. And so there's also a misconception that line fours are have this huge network and are connected to everybody. But in my experience and other people that I know that have line four, yes, they do have communities and networks, but a lot of times their
mhm.
real solid ones are a lot smaller than you would think.
I mean, with with your like your close friend group, you guys no longer call it a circle. It's like a line, right?
I think
That's
it's
what
a
you guys.
dot now. I don't even know if it's a line. I mean, seriously, I need to get out of my line one and get to line four and a little bit more because I've definitely isolated. But yeah, so it's like, because you think about what do they say? If you do a man who knows who's a master of lots of things is or what is that saying?
The jack of all trades is a master of none.
Something like that. I don't think that's right
I don't think
either.
that's what you want, but I think that's what you're thinking.
Well, what I'm thinking is if I poured all my attention to getting the widest amount of people, not widest. That'd be bad. I don't want to do that. That's boring. Um, there would be no depth there. There would be no strong foundation there if you cast this wide net just trying to get as many people into your network. That's superficial. That's not what the line
Mhm.
four is about. It's about strong,
Quality.
stable relationships. The networking comes from those people wanting to share with the world, or it does attract new people, and especially if you're a generator of like people that want to come into your community, want to come into your network. But the line four is going to make sure that those connections are solid because
Mhm,
they really do crave stability. So with this combination, these are two, I mean, they would call it a harmonic because these are both very much about foundations, right?
mhm,
Solid foundations. However, that also lends it to more what they call a more fixed nature. And they often call this profile a fixed profile. And that I can see it, but then I also have had people give pushback too about like, well, if it's fixed, because these are things that when you hear in human design, it's like if you only take everything at face value and you don't dig around into it and try to explore a little bit more or have it explained to you or just really spend time with it, that would have you walking away. Because
mhm,
to say, because I had somebody actually comment on one of my videos, it's like, what's the point? If I'm a 4-1 fixed fate, what's the point of any of this? And it's like,
mhm,
okay, this is the problem with traditional human design and misunderstandings about what this means, right? So really, it's like a 4-1 is meant to get to the foundations of things, and
mhm,
so that does kind of make it pointed in one direction, but it's the direction of what this person chooses to focus on. It's
mhm,
not a matter of you're assigned something and that's it. Yes, the focus is going to be largely around the themes of what your sun gate is and your incarnation
mhm,
cross. It's going to be a little bit more than the other profiles because of the fact that both of your profile lines are foundational.
mhm,
So that four aspect of it is like for me like 14 line 4 it's going to be or and the 8 is my earth. So contribution and power skills, but in this relational way of how it's going to express. And then on the other side is more of a like, let's dig into it, deep research, right? So this fixed nature is like, and this has taken me some time to really understand it as well, because you do have to kind of feel into this stuff and you have to look at how you approach life
Mm-hmm.
and how you continue to approach life. And it's not easy sometimes. You have to like really take an honest look at how you actually do life.
Mm-hmm.
And this fixed nature, they call it more of like it's there is a destination. They are going to get solidly uh to the foundations of whatever it is they are here to learn and experience in life. They say it's like a train on a track. It's like the train cannot get off the track. The train
Mm-hmm.
itself is not there to jump off the track and go do what everybody else wants. You can get on the train and you can ride along the train with it. That's the 4-1. But you're not going to get that 4-1 to deviate from its path.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I get that. Now, it does sound like like you're locked into a certain way of
Mm-hmm.
being. It's not that. 4-1s can change. I've certainly changed
Mm-hmm.
over my lifetime. I'm not, to the chagrin of your father sometimes, I'm not the 19-year-old he met. I am a changed person, but I'm not easily swayed or moved off of my path.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the other analogy comes up of the 4-1 is the oak tree. They talk about
Mm-hmm.
that a lot too. So if you think about a tree, how do you see that, Haley, of how that, I mean, you know me, right?
Yes.
You have the
Mm-hmm.
outside perspective of me. I have the inside perspective. Do you
Mm-hmm.
see me like an oak tree?
Yes. Because you're just like looking at knowing the analogy and knowing you as a 4-1 and as my mom and all of this, like
Hmm.
you're so sturdy and solid and like dependable. And I know that I could literally come to you with anything and you wouldn't like, you're not going to scold me or be disapproving of me or like anything like that. Like, I know that you're gonna love me how I am forever, and like you're solid. You're like I know who you are, and you're not gonna change, and you're just the rock.
Thank you. I mean, we say it makes sense if I say I don't scold you. It doesn't mean I didn't discipline you.
No, 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 no. But you're not
I
gonna.
did it in a different way. I didn't do it in
Yeah.
a,
But like what I mean by that is like you're not gonna like if when I was growing up, if I had snuck out to a party and I had called you and like I want to like come get me, I need you to come get me, like you would have done it, no questions asked. Like
oh, yeah.
we would have talked about it later and we would have discussed it, but like you're not gonna like, oh no, bye. So
Well,
that's what I mean.
I hope a lot of people do that. Yeah,
Oh.
so thank you. Yeah, so that when you think about that, the oak tree being, it is something that is rooted. It is an oak tree's roots go deep.
Hmm.
And that's that line one aspect of it as well, is that going deep and having a steady foundation that the upper part of the tree, it moves in the breeze, it
Hmm.
sways, it looks like it's moving, but
Hmm.
a really solid oak tree does not move.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
very hard to push it over
Hmm.
or to get it to change. And they say that there's a theme with the 4-1 of abdicating, they call it, which, or you've seen the line 4 in particular, where it may look like the person is bending or changing to your
Hmm.
will. And a lot of times 4-1s will appear that way. To keep the
Hmm.
peace, will be like, okay, that's fine. That's how you feel. But
Hmm.
internally, you're not going to do that or you're not going to
Hmm.
change. You will acquiesce, you will abdicate to keep the peace because, again, the relationships are important to you. But deep down, you know that you cannot change who you are
Hmm.
as fundamentally who you are. You can
Hmm.
change aspects of yourself, but if something is really against your nature or the idea of who you are or what you think you're wanting to do or accomplish or whatever, you will keep the peace, but you absolutely will
Hmm.
not actually change your
Hmm.
own trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're here to, as four ones, build this foundation of knowledge of whatever it is we choose. There's probably going to be
Mm-hmm.
a theme around it that is a little bit determined just because that's a large expression of your personality. But
Mm-hmm.
the purpose of it, as I said earlier, is to share that with our network in order to make an impact. And so it's very much a self feels like a very inwardly focused experience, but
Mm-hmm.
ultimately it does not feel fulfilling at all unless I can share it with people. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
here we are on this podcast, Haley, because human design captured me so completely, which I had an interest. It wasn't just human design was the first thing
Mm-hmm.
that got me into looking about how people are or explain why I felt the way I did about life, but it finally gave a language to it and more structure to it to understand because my outlook on life has always been curious about
Mm-hmm.
people and about what makes them tick. But I've also been so incredibly just in my bones and not even always thinking about it consciously the power and the power but also the sanctity and the beauty of the individual person and how people are in our world so often told to that they're not important enough and that they can't do what they want to do and that you're just supposed to work a 9 to 5 till you die, that all these things that are supposed to
Fit the
be
mold.
what's important and fit the mold has never been part of my experience.
Mm-mm.
And from feeling way different as a kid, anyhow, that always feeling like I was thinking about stuff nobody else was thinking about, being very observant of people, of not wanting to be put in a mold, put in a box, be, any of these things, but then still wanting to connect with people and I had my people that I would find that were like me, but my experience was always bucking the norm of what everybody said is the way to do things. Now, I'm not an anarchist. I follow rules. I fit
Mm-hmm.
in. I abdicate. I make it look like I'm going along. But inside of me is this rebel spirit of like, fuck that. No, like, no. And then when human design came along, okay, first of all, I understood why I felt this. Like, I've always said I have felt part of things, but not part of things,
Mm-hmm.
which is a big 4-1 experience because it's like I need my alone time. I need all this. Like, I'm very self focused in that regard. I'm a generator of
Mm-hmm.
like, just want to be there, but then also I'm perfectly comfortable being pulled out as well. And there's nothing more exciting or fun to me than spending time with you guys, my family. It's the best thing in the world. People that I really, really care about, wanting to spend time with them. That's like that's great. That's what I want to do, experiencing life. But seeing that for one and understanding that, my 14 and my 8, my sun and earth gates, this theme of needing to be different. That's at gate
Mm-hmm.
8 contribution of like being authentically yourself and being an
Mm-hmm.
individual. And then the 14 about the power skills, but basically it's the fuel to fire to the fuel to carry you towards your heart's desires and everything you want, meaning that you will have everything you need. You need to follow the things that you want to do and what is important to you. And that's because it's a sacral gate. It brings the fuel and the energy and the excitement, and
Mm-hmm.
you will have the resources to then share your gifts with other people. And seeing the explanation in that way, I was like, oh, no wonder I have often felt. I mean, there's lots of other things in the chart, the
Mm-hmm.
definition, all the individuality, all that stuff. But as far as an overarching theme, it started making a lot of sense. And so I'm obviously speaking about myself a lot here because I don't know how many 4-1s are listening. If you are, I think you can resonate and I hope you would reach out and let me know how that resonates with you as far as how you see yourself because I also have a defined G center. So it's like this solidness in who I am doesn't mean I don't question myself and I don't have issues with self confidence or self worth. There's lots of other things in there, but it's like I can't put a finger on it to tell you exactly what it is, other than to know how it feels that I will not, I cannot honestly change certain things about myself.
Hmm.
It's just as much growth as I've gone through as a person,
Hmm.
I can't fit into someone else's expectation
Hmm.
for me. I'll make it look that way sometimes. I'm thinking of your dad in particular. Things he may
Hmm.
want for me to do, like have a normal job, do all this other thing. And I'm like, I get it. I understand. I need to contribute more, but I'm still building this thing and
Hmm.
I'm not going to give up on it. I just can't. It's not, it won't happen because this is something that's so important to me to share in the world. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was going off a tangent
No,
there.
no, no, it was good. I just wanted to kind of add two things to our two analogies. Like for the
Mm-hmm.
train analogy, you say it's you're on the track, the 4-1, you're getting on the train, but the 4-1 can choose what train it is they get on. And also if you think about like if you're looking at a train that's going across the United States, for instance, like you're going to be going through so many different things and seeing so many different things and learning so many different things, even though you're on this fixed path, this fixed
Mm-hmm.
track.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
And then with the tree, like you're
And
not going to,
trains tend to go where nobody else goes
they
because it's
do.
on a train, it's not on a road.
Yes, I've been up to the top of a 14,000-foot mountain
Me
on a
too.
train.
Me too. With you.
It was fun. But like with the oak, like being sturdy, you're not going to change the trunk, you're not going to change the limbs, but that tree is still changing with its leaves. It's growing, it's going through seasons and cycles. So like your 4-1, you're going to change, you're going to grow, but your foundation is not going to change.
Yeah, the oak tree, you can't just pick it up and plop it down somewhere else.
No,
A fully
does not work.
grown tree. No,
Yeah.
no. And I love oak tree. I mean, it's funny. It's one of the things I used to always love to sketch was trees. And it was always like I would sketch the roots down into the ground and then the reaching out all the branches and stuff. And you think about that reaching out
Hmm.
of like providing shade and cover and nurture for all the other things in its environment. And so the person in a 4-1, the people in a 4-1 life, 4-1's life has to understand that there is only so far you could push them to change. They
Hmm.
will bend, they will bend, they will bend, but it could eventually, if you push it too far, can break. And you think about how hard it would be to do that. But if you do that, it could be quite damaging to the 4-1 in this analogy. So I'm
Hmm.
thinking about you have to, the 4-1 has to be and find people and be in relationship with people, especially like romantic or that kind of relationship with people who are basically willing to accept the 4-1 for who they are, not try to change them, not try to get them to be someone more like you would like them to be. You have
Hmm.
to understand that you're going along for the ride and that they will. I mean, especially I think 4-1s, if you can accept them where they are and who they are, they will be the most steady, strong, supportive people in your life. But
Hmm.
you can't expect them to change. You may have to change, but they won't change. I think that is evident in my family as well. Not with you guys, so I'm just thinking about your dad and I a lot. But we're not like bulls, you know, we don't
Hmm.
like go through trying to get everybody to be like us or do our things our way. We just quietly and you know, we just are the way we are
Hmm.
and we may blend in, but we're not trying to change everybody else, but we just know we're not going to change. You just got to either change or it's not going to work. Yeah, I've seen that a lot in my life.
Hmm.
So there's one thing I want to talk about with 4-1 that I've heard, and I don't quite get it. Maybe we can suss it out a little bit because I don't know who first coined this phrase because I don't believe it was in traditional teaching. But there's this term out there that talking about the bonus life of a
Hmm.
4-1. Somebody with a 4-1 has a bonus life. And from an outside perspective, I don't really like this because I feel like, from what I understand, whoever first coined this phrase is not a 4-1.
Mm. Okay.
Chances are. And because when I first heard that, I was like, this is a bonus life because that gives this impression that as a 4-1, you got it all because they say that you come in as a 4-1 with no karma to clean up,
Mm. So you're
and you're
pretty
not,
neutral.
yeah, and you're supposedly not creating new karma. Okay, like, first of all, like I said, when I first heard this, I'm like, that's fucking bullshit
Hmm.
because I have been through some shit in my life, and I don't know if it's karma or not. It's just an experience. And I think that oversimplifies the 4-1 experience as easy peasy street because they talk about it's a bonus life and you're lucky and you're like all these things. And it's like,
Hmm.
it doesn't feel that way as a
Hmm.
4-1. I can sure my sister would say the same thing. And my other friend who's a 4-1. We would not say we're living the bonus life.
Because that makes it sound like it's just like this fun, never hard, perfect,
Exactly.
like you're just kind of everything turns up roses. And like,
Yeah.
I don't think that happens for anyone
Mm-mm.
ever.
No, no, it doesn't. And so I don't really understand where that came from, but I will say, and if you're a 4-1 listening, you let me know if you feel that that's a term that really does, I don't think it represents the 4-1 experience at
Hmm.
all. It feels kind of dismissive. It's like we're not in the mix with everybody else. We're
Hmm.
not down the soup, but I feel like it's even more, and maybe I'm just not understanding how it was taught because I've been trying to dig into with my line one to figure out where that came from in the first place. And and I think there are people listening that may know that because I think it may be Jen and Zoe, but I don't know. I don't want to necessarily name names, but
Hmm.
I think that's the first time I heard it was there. So basically, we'll just move on from that because I don't really have an explanation of it because I don't think it's part of the teachings. But I just wanted to mention it because I'm sure people have heard it. But really, the key tensions here, like there is a lot, and even though it's a harmonic, there is going to be that tension between
Hmm.
the line one wanting to dig deep and the line four wanting to get the information out of there. There is an inherent insecurity specifically in this profile that I think there is an oversimplification with that bonus life because really it doesn't hit on the whole experience of the 4-1 of deep insecurity because the both of those lines are looking for foundations to
Hmm.
feel secure. That means they inherently never really feel that secure. They're always looking to build those foundations to be more secure. And the line four is always really, really does not like shifting foundations. It does not like changes in its stability, in the sense that they say a line four will often not have a new relationship until they have another one lined up, or a new job until they have another one, or know where they're going. They're not going to jump around too much. And I think that's even more so in this instance because they're very much like wanting to feel solid. And what can happen, and I think I'm guilty of this in a larger scale, is when you don't feel secure in what it is, the foundations of what you want to share, it keeps you kind of locked away in this sense that you won't share because you don't feel that you have enough knowledge or experience or be the expert in something. Like you feel like you have to be the expert before you share. Like
Hmm.
I spent 2 years talking myself into doing a podcast. I've been doing it for 3 years and I'm still hesitant and fearful of launching certain things, which I'm working on now because it really like is challenging my, am I secure enough in this
Hmm.
knowledge and these foundations? Even though it's things that I know for myself to be true, it's when I bring it out to my larger network, I really want to make sure it's something that is really strong and solid.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no guarantee in that. There's no guarantee
Mm-hmm.
in life. There's no
I mean,
guarantee that things are going to work and they're going to be great and perfect. But God
mhm.
dang it, the 4-1 really does try to get there first.
I mean, you started as soon as we got on here, you said something like, I hope I can, like, you're like, even though it's my profile, I hope I say everything that needs to be said. And I'm like, of course you're going to say everything that needs to be said
I
because
don't
you
know.
know it all.
I don't. Well, I'll probably be done with this art or this episode later on today. I'll be like, dang it, I forgot to say that. That's important, but it is what it is. But anyway, so you are here as a 4-1 to go deep, to build the foundations, to share with your people. And you are a grounding force in your community, like Haley so wonderfully shared about me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Because it's not something I look to do. It is just kind of like it's just how I feel. I feel
Hmm.
that solidness in a lot of things as far as my relationships for sure. Like,
Hmm.
yeah. I'm if I really care about you, I will put up with a lot. Not with you. I'm not saying that. I have been known to tolerate a lot on the surface until
Hmm.
it gets to the point where I can't anymore and it has to break. And it has
Yep.
before with people.
Yes.
But after many, many, many years.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to types real quick.
Okay.
Now that we've been talking forever about me. So we also like to say, okay, how does this affect your type, affect the expression of your profile, vice versa? So generators, what is their strategy, Haley, for a generator?
Wait to respond.
Yes. They have that sacral yes or no of
Yes.
responding. And so for a 4-1 generator, that means that using that sacral response will help them understand what the direction they want to go, what it is that they want to share with their network, who they want to connect with, and then also through those connections, how they're going to share.
Hmm.
Like you said, it's especially the generator on that train, let's say, analogy, I feel like is the perfect also pairing of this 4-1 profile, in my opinion, because I'm 4-1 generator. Because you're building, you're always
Hmm.
building next step, next step, next step, next step. And it doesn't always get there fast. It's going to have the plateaus or whatever. A train doesn't go straight up a hill. It's got to go zigzagging back and forth.
Hmm.
But following that sacral response can help alleviate some of the insecurity and the anxiety around it. Am I choosing the right path? Am I going the right direction? Because if you can pay attention to that sacral response and where it's leading you, which is not easy to do. Sounds easy, but it's not. Then you will be brought to the things that and the people that are going to really help you fulfill your purpose and make you feel like you're on purpose, that you're doing
Hmm.
what you need to be doing. Let's see. Manifesting generator, same kind of thing. They're also sacral beings, so they're going to be leading that response there. There's going to be possible lots of different directions. Maybe the train has got those little side splits going off here and there. Sometimes the train has to turn around. I love the God. I love trains. Put them on those things to turn around and push them back another
Hmm.
direction, and
Hmm.
they go this direction. It might be that analogy. Really feel like we're oversimplifying that there. But your sacral response is also going to guide you to
Hmm.
who and what to engage with. So make sure you're paying attention to that and know that there could be some more stops and starts with your experience because even though you're on this fixed fate and you're getting the foundations, it's like there's that manifesting generator aspect to you where you're also likely to maybe take 2 steps forward, 3 steps back
Hmm.
sometimes because it's just like your process,
You
even
got,
though you're in this fixed fate direction, you're kind of meant to experiment within that.
mhm. Yeah, you got tangents you got to follow because you never know where it'll lead.
Yeah, lots of interest, but know that If you're following ones that were initiated out of a sacral response, they may not come to fruition, but it's never a waste of your energy, and that you're meant to just follow your response in that way and be okay with that. So the 4-1 projector then, what's the strategy of the projector, Haley?
Wait for the invitation or recognition.
That's right. And so in this instance, it's going to be your network, of course, is going to be of
Hmm.
the utmost importance. So you've got to make sure that you are getting recognized in the right
Hmm.
networks. So that means, as the projector, following your internal instincts, things that are interesting to you, what it is. If you're a splenic projector, it might be a little bit easier because you could have that body awareness impulse to
Hmm.
maybe go this direction or that direction, know what feels right and correct for you in the moment. But in general, it's going to be you understanding your own value as the 4-1 projector, what it is you want to be recognized for, uh, so that when the invitations come from your network, they're going to be the correct invitations for you.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's almost always the same advice for the all the types here, depending on profile, is to make sure that you are really trying as best as you can to practice the aspects of your strategy and authority because it's going to
Hmm.
help that profile shine even brighter to get you to your
Hmm.
desired goals and outcomes.
Yeah. Also, I feel like a 4-1 projector, like those are going to be some very deep connections. Because, like,
Hmm.
how much the projector is focused on the other, and then having that line 4 in it too, like, it's going to be
Hmm.
some deep shit.
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna. Well, I'm not sure if she listens, but Larissa, my friend Larissa, she's a 4-1 projector,
Mm.
and need to poke around in that design a little bit more. But I see her from my sister too. I do see them both as that like very solid, steady people that yes, things happen in their lives, but they are still kind of always in one
Very
going and
unwavering.
yeah, definitely all build and grow. But anyways, but she is a 4-1 projector. So really noticing with the 4-1 projector, like I said, what really interests you, what are you really strong in, and really diving into that and creating those foundations so that your network will be the correct people to share with.
Hmm.
4-1 manifester, what's the manifester strategy?
To inform.
That's right. So the 4-1 manifester, then they have that nonverbal internal creative flow that their own, they
Hmm.
don't know when the inspiration is going to hit or when they're going to have the urge to initiate something or get something going. So, especially to help them get their knowledge, their wisdom, whatever it is they're interested in the moment, or what they feel the urge to create is going to impact the way they want it to. They've got to honor their networks, their people, their connections
Hmm.
by informing them. It's going to smooth the path for them to go as deep as they want. And then when they're ready, their people, their networks will be able to help them spread that message, get the word
Hmm.
out there. But you've got to treat them with a little respect and let them know what's
Hmm.
going on. Let them in on the game.
Yeah. They
You're
just want
not,
to know what's happening.
yeah,
The
they'll
people
be
in a
like,
manifestor life, they're like, we
that's
just
cool.
want to make sure you're like not leaving us.
Yeah. Because you can imagine with that perception of that really fixed nature, and then the manifestor is also known to have a more close, closed aura because they don't necessarily, quote unquote, need other people, they say. But a
Mm,
4-1 does need
does.
other people, but it needs to do it on its own time in its right way. So just make sure you're smoothing those connections by informing those
Hmm.
around you. And then lastly, the rarest of the rare of rare is the 4-1 profile, the reflector, the 4-1 reflector, sorry, because the reflector is the rarest type
Hmm.
and the 4-1's the rarest profile. I think I saw somebody somewhere on a forum that was a 4-1 reflector. I was like, whoa, that's like, it's like spotting a unicorn. So It's always the same advice, really, for the reflector is that the reflector has all undefined centers.
Mm-hmm.
They're built for it. They're built for being in the environment with all this undefined centers.
Mm-hmm.
They are meant to sample the environment, the auras around them, and reflect back like what's
Mm-hmm.
really happening. And so the reflector then needs to be in the right environment in order to be around the right people. So that means the right networks.
Mm-hmm.
The reflector in general is going to need time, one, to kind of understand their experience, their knowledge, what it is they want to share, how they want to share. They are their strategy is not really their strategy authority is not really strategy. What they call it, their strategy. Yes, they have strategy. They don't really have the inner authority, but their strategy is to wait that lunar cycle, the 28 days, as the moon moves through all the gates to help give them definition, different parts of their chart, experience themselves through all those different transits to understand how they really feel about certain things. But also, a reflector needs those trusted people around them as a sounding board to help them process what they're going through, what they're thinking about, what they're contemplating. But really, the 4 1, excuse me, but really, the reflector needs to have their own dedicated, if they can find it, space, even if it's time to just walk in nature by themselves or remove
Mm-hmm.
themselves for a day away from other people to really make sure they're staying tuned in to what is really important to them, how they really feel, make sure that they're not pursuing things that aren't really their interest. They might be someone
Mm-hmm.
else's interest because they can be so deeply tied to the people around them. They can tend to quote unquote lose themselves sometimes in certain environments. So, which is not a bad thing. I mean, they're very adaptable people. They can
Mm-hmm.
do lots of different friend groups or places they can go and be happy there. But they need to make sure that they are regularly checking in with their own personal aura when it's not
Mm-hmm.
mingling with other auras. And so that could definitely take some downtime away from other people in
Mm-hmm.
order to really understand what it is they want to go deep on and who it is they want to share it with.
Yeah. I can see this 4-1 reflector being like a very strong combination, even though it may not seem like it, because we've talked about like the resiliency of the reflector because they have
Hmm.
just so much fluidity through their chart, so they
Hmm.
can take a lot, and then also that sturdiness of the 4-1. Like I can see it being very strong combination, even though it may not necessarily seem it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think the reflector in general gets a bad rep of like
Mm-hmm.
the way we talk about openness in the chart of
Yeah.
like I think it's perceived as your weak spots, but they're
Yeah.
not. They're your strengths really a lot of time because you really go deep on the things you learn through those open centers. You're learning through other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and their experiences. So, yeah. Okay, so moving on to examples other than
Mm-hmm.
myself. I did find a couple
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
celebrities here.
Yeah.
Surprised me. A couple
Yeah.
surprised me. So, but then
Mm-hmm.
when I look at them, I'm like, yeah, not so surprising. All right, hold on. Okay, so here's the
Okay.
first one.
All right, let me see. Oh, Marshall Matthews. Mathers.
Mathers. Marshall Mathers.
Eminem.
The
Eminem.
old Slim Shady.
Yeah. I mean, you
Eminem.
did say lose yourself, and I was like, in the moment, in the music.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, talking about the reflectors, they can lose
Oh,
themselves. And I was like, I
oh,
always,
that's
anytime
funny.
someone says something, I always think of that. So
You were picking it up.
I was.
Uh, yes, so here we have Eminem. Eminem
Uh-oh.
is a 4-1 pure generator.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
His cross, juxtaposition cross conservation. He's
Mm-hmm.
Sun and Earth, excuse me, Sun and Gate 32. So that's going to be a big thing. 32 is in the spleen center, duration.
Mm-hmm.
And so I first learned this today. And then I was like, wow, Eminem's a 4-1? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that makes some sense. I'm not particularly Eminem fan at all.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's all right. There's that song. You're one
Mm-hmm.
shot, you lose it,
Yes.
you use yourself, lose yourself, whatever. But in general,
Uh-huh.
I'm not really a fan. But I know a lot of
Mhm.
people are. So if you are, that's great. But obviously, he is an artist. He is a
Mhm.
rap artist. Is that the right thing
Yeah.
to say? Rap.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be the
Yeah.
correct.
But one
Yeah.
would say that he is a master of his craft and he has
Yeah.
not deviated. He has gone through lots of different transformations, I would say, in his life from his
Mhm.
earliest beginnings to where he is now. I mean, he's a world known celebrity rap artist, I'm sure multi-millionaire over many times,
Mhm.
performer, but he's definitely been known as someone who has not changed himself
Mm-mm.
for what other people want from him. And he's definitely, I would say, an oak tree in that regard. I don't know him personally, don't know his personal life, but from the outside persona is someone who is very solid in who he
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
Like he,
And
he
I do believe his family is super important to him. Like his daughter
his
is like,
daughter, yeah.
yeah, very important.
Yeah, and he maybe has shaky beginnings and had to build these foundations himself, but he did do it. Now he's got the
Mhm.
channel. It's very interesting. Where his defined channels are all within that integration network. He's got the
Mhm.
3410, the 3457, and the 1057.
Mhm.
This is a very self-contained person because that is also all three centers. Those are the only three centers he has defined is sacral, spleen, and G center. Everything
Mhm.
else is undefined. Heavy definition in the throat gates,
Yeah,
but
I was looking at that.
not a defined throat.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because with that 4-1 and that like integration network and that being single definition, you can see how this person really is kind of set in their not in their ways, but
In themselves.
he is never going to be someone that
Mm-mm.
he did not feel he is because those channels are all very much personal power, how you feel
Mhm.
about yourself, following your own intuition, following your own response. It's
Mm.
all connected to that 10, which is all about the self, the love of the self. So yeah, this is somebody who's like
Mm.
found, but you see his how he's gone about doing it and what has been his path. Like I said, he's gone through lots of different iterations, but I would say at his heart, he considers himself just a creative artist
Mm.
in some way. He could express it in lots of different ways. He may be known for one thing, but I don't think he would see himself as one thing. I think he probably just sees himself as himself. He probably wonders why everybody gives a shit what he thinks anyhow. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
and I think that's probably why he has no problem making the music he does and doing what he does because
Yeah.
he's like, I don't think he's looking for anybody's approval.
He's like, this is just what I want to create.
Yeah, he had to do it. I just felt that's who he is. So I wasn't going to spend too much time on each person today. I just wanted to show the examples so you could look at
Hmm.
them, see the different definitions. But I don't have a lot to say about the people because I
Hmm.
know them, but I wasn't going to go
But
too
don't
deep of a
know
dive.
them.
All right, I'll go bring up the next one
Yeah.
is, oh yeah, let me find her.
Yeah. Just something fun between me and his chart. So we both have 34 defined consciously and unconsciously, but
Mm-hmm.
his is the second planet, Uranus. Mine's Pluto.
Look at it. It looks like a trident.
Yes.
Trident is what?
Neptune.
Thank you. That's how I
You
remember.
heard how unconfident I was in Uranus,
Yeah, I know.
but it's just
Yeah, that
funny. Just
well,
coincidence.
it's a slow
Hmm.
moving planet. It's an outer
Yeah,
planet.
that's
So
true.
it happens more often a lot of time because you see his Pluto is the same, like you
Hmm.
said,
Yeah.
because they just didn't move. But
Mm-hmm.
you see Uranus, and a lot of times those outer planets could be they're in retrograde, so it might be why they look more on not more, but maybe like in mine, I don't think in my chart any of my outer planets on my chart are in the same gates. But I think it's
Mm.
because there was retrogrades happening. I don't
So
think it.
like, so like his probably what is that Uranus? Third one up from the
Yes,
bottom.
yes.
So his is like unconscious. It's 48.5, 48.6, and then consciously it's 57.5. So it's like way different. So probably one of them was in retrograde.
Yeah. Don't quote
Maybe.
me on that. Don't quote me on that.
You don't even have to keep this in. It's just,
No, I mean it's important. I mean, I question it. I don't know every aspect, but that would be
it would be a
my
possibility, potentially.
well, yes, because if you look at it, it would mean it would, and it doesn't happen, it would mean it'd have to go like in 3 months
Mm.
from if because I don't even think
I don't know. It could because mine unconscious is 41.1 and conscious is 41.6.
yes, but there that could just be it's progressing through where
Mm-hmm.
this one of 48.6, 57.5. That would be if it went in the three
Oh,
months
it
from
could be.
48 to 57. It wouldn't, I don't think it would move
But
through
is
line.
57 more? Is the next one after 46,
That's
48?
the other thing I would have. They're definitely together
Because what
somewhere.
I
They
was
would have to
saying
be.
is mine is unconscious is 1.1
Hmm.
and conscious is line 6. So like it can move pretty quickly in 3 months.
I see what you're saying.
So it's just something.
Yeah. I'll look
I
into it.
don't know.
We'll take a deep dive. I don't know. All right, here's the next one.
Okay.
Hold on.
See, those are the things that just happen when I have the visuals. I'm like, what about this?
What about it? Could be. I don't know. I don't know everything. I'm still
Your
learning.
lines one's like, no,
Don't
no.
ask me. Don't ask me. I don't know. Answer. I think I know, but I don't for sure.
So,
I
it's
feel
your line one.
challenged.
It's also your, what, 11? Is that the one that's answers, or is it four?
Oh, four answers, but then also
Four.
48, the well of like not being confident that I have all the answers. Okay.
All right. Next one. Sara Bareilles.
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 I'm
Today
not
is not
gonna
my day.
write you a love song
No.
'cause you asked for it.
Stop. It's gonna be stuck
'Cause
in
you
my
know.
head. I
It's
can't.
been in my head since I saw that she was a four.
No, why are you evil?
You don't like that song?
I mean, it's good when it came out, but it's just so overdone. I'm no shade to
Lift your arm
her.
up again. Lift your arm
Oh
up
no.
again. Lift that arm up again.
No.
Did you get a tattoo?
No shit. I was gonna surprise you when I got there. Dang it, I tried so hard.
What's that? Oh, that's so cool. What does that
Yeah.
say?
It says you do not yield. It's backwards, but I was trying so hard not to show
Oh my
you.
God. Oh, that hurt.
Not that bad. It was about the same as this one, honestly.
When did you get that?
Tuesday?
Oh, is it still covered up?
No, I took it off the other day. It's just tattoo now.
Holy shit, Haley. It's huge. Did you think it'd be that big?
Yeah, I wanted it that big.
Where'd that come from?
From the current book series I'm reading. Well, it's the phrase is very popular amongst this author, which is the same ACOTAR author, Sarah J. Maas.
Mhm.
So, but the sword specifically from this book series.
Dang.
I was trying so hard.
I should have worn long sleeves.
I can't. It's
I'm
too
kind
warm.
of observant at times.
I know. If I hadn't have freaking dang it.
Oh, you're in it now. You got the one. I mean, it took me 10, God, it was 10, 15, oh, it was over 10 plus years before I got my second
hmm
tattoo, which was just last year with you.
Well,
And now with less than a year, you've gotten two.
I know when the girl that did my tattoo, she's like, "Do you have other ones?" I was like, "Just this one on my forearm." And she's like, "When'd you get that?" And I was like, "September." And she's like, "Yeah, that sounds right."
Do it again. That's
Dang
hilarious.
it.
Okay, let's move on. We'll decide if I keep that in there or not. All right, so Sarah
Uh,
Bareilles. So she
yes.
is a 4-1 emotional generator. If you don't know who Sarah Bareilles is, I just sang you a little song. A love song. Not because you asked for it, because you need one. You said, sorry.
Uh,
Um, Singer-songwriter, performer, actress, all the things. And so her channel, she's got the 3740 community, the 59.6 mating, and the 6447 abstraction. And so her definition is head and ajna defined there with the 6447, and then defined sacral, emotional, social emotional generator, and will center. Her sun gate is in gate 5,
mhm,
patterns, consistency, which is what's interesting because I don't know, or that would be something that I don't necessarily think plays out in her work, other than she's always been on the path of being a, I think, songwriter, even more than a singer songwriter, because everybody knows that it's so interesting her path and how it's gone, that she started off as a waitress. That was her job. And now, I don't know if you know this or not, she has a play on Broadway, a musical called
oh,
Waitress, that
oh.
she has over the years. Now, there's a show on Netflix. I don't know where it first came out, but called Girls Five Eva. This was my guilty pleasure watch last summer. I usually get
Uh-huh.
one like random weird sitcom that I'm like,
Mhm,
and this, so she was the star of this guy, Girls Five Ever, and it's about
mm,
these five girls that were, when they were young, like 18, 19, were in this like put together girl band, like,
mhm,
and now they're all like in their 40s, and her character wants to kind of revive the band, and it's the funniest damn show.
mhm.
Especially a woman of a certain age. If you're in your 40s or more, you understand. But it was so stupid, but it was so funny. But she was the main character. But I would say that her trajectory has always been toward what she's always gone towards. And I think she also is someone who's remained steady and solid. I mean, that song, Love Song, for
Mhm,
instance, was written because as she got a record deal, record label, whatever you want to call it, they didn't necessarily like, and this is even the theme in Girls Forever, Five Ever as well, is that the industry might want a certain thing from her as a female performer and the
mhm,
kind of music that she's going to write and sing. But, and that was part of the story behind that song, is like they told her, you need to do more love songs. You need to do this. You need to do that. And that was her answer to it, was like, I'm not going to write you a love song just because you asked for it, because you need one.
mhm.
And so just now, when I think about that, I was like, oh, that's a very 4-1 way of doing
It
things,
is.
of like, I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to do it.
I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah. The Sara Bareilles way. But she's a very, I mean, she does come off as a very and down to earth, very normal
Mhm,
person. She does seem very solid in who she is. It's certainly, she has not bent herself into being anything else than
mhm,
that as she has advanced in her career and in her
mhm.
celebrity. She's always still, I think, stayed true to who she is. Any comments on this chart in particular?
Uh, Shout out to my 6447 twinny.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But
Creative
no, I
individual
mean,
there.
yeah. Oh.
All right. Well, the last one is definitely probably I knew the least amount.
Oogity do. Who do we have? Lena Dunham. I know the name. Let
Yeah.
me, oops. Let me, let me
She
pull
is
up the
yet
Googles.
she is a polarizing figure. And then I
Mm,
see her chart and I'm not surprised. Not like she's polarizing, but I'm not surprised why people don't understand her for lots of different reasons. Or they might not even like her. There's a lot of people that don't like her. They don't
mhm,
like her. So she is also a actress, but I don't know. She would see herself probably, I would say, more as a writer.
mhm,
Um, and she was the writer creator of the show Girls on HBO, which I watched the whole thing. I really really like that show, and I did not really like her a lot, as far as I don't think you were meant to, like, you
mm,
she's the ultimate like complicated main character, and it
mhm,
is loosely based on who she is, but in her experience, because she even said, I was reading about her a little bit. So she's Jewish. She's part, I think she said half Jewish, half not Jewish. What does she call herself? WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Yeah. She had gotten criticism when she created the show that all the main characters, they're young women living in New York, that they were all white. And she was like, it's such, they people criticized her because it's such a diverse city, New York. And
Mm,
she's like, I never really thought about that. I was just really writing from my experience.
mm,
And so a lot of things I saw that her get criticized for, she was just trying to write from her experience or what she knows or speak about. It's
mhm,
very much about her. And people attacked her for it. They you think she was a line five for doing it the wrong way. And she definitely comes off as someone as she's gotten older. She's only 39 now, and that was all happening when she was in like her late 20s of being, I think she struggled with standing in her solidness of herself when
mhm,
she was younger. I think getting all this attention and notoriety at such a young age really challenged that because she's also come out as being very honest with problems she's had with some mental health issues, OCD, depression, some of these other things. She's
mhm,
had physical ailments. I don't want to call them diseases, disorders. She got criticized a lot for her appearance because she doesn't look like people want her to look like. To have the nerve to claim the spotlight in entertainment, to be like not the right body type. She doesn't look for approval from
mhm.
others as to how she, even to this day, is very much like maligned for really how she looks because she is so outspoken and isn't looking again to garner all this attention. She has the attention by just being who she is and doing the work that she does, but a lot of people really dislike her. I mean, like, this is somebody that a lot of people really despise her. I'm like, I appreciate her. I think she is a little odd. She's not like me. She's not my people, but
Mhm.
I admire her for what she does, and I did like her show. It was really good. It was not a feel good show. It was not always a pretty show, but it felt like a very real show of
Very
like
authentic, very
very
deep.
very authentic of how people are in all their flaws, even when they want to be different or better
Mhm.
or do things, how often they tend to not. Like her main character in particular, Hannah. That was also the first time I saw Adam Driver. And I was like,
Mhm.
he plays her boyfriend for quite some time, and he is very flawed. They are both very flawed. And, but they're just people. And God, I remember seeing him like, God, that guy is amazing. He is so weird, but he is so, what an incredible actor. And then when I saw he was going to play Darth Vader, I'm like, what?
Kylo Ren,
It's
good
Darth
soup.
Vader, right? He's Darth Vader, right?
No, he's Kylo Ren.
Who's Kylo Ren?
Some other evil character. I don't think he's technically like Darth Vader, but he's like, I think he's, it's been
He
a while
became
since I've
Darth
seen
Vader.
these.
Kylo Ren became Darth Vader,
I don't know. Darth Vader's Darth Vader.
but he was a person first.
I know.
Who's Kylo Ren? Don't make me have to cut this out too. Now I gotta look up Kylo Ren real quick.
Good soup.
Because I don't want to be wrong. I got to cut that all out.
No, you keep it in because it's real.
He's not Darth Vader. He's Darth Vader's grandson.
Okay. So you can just make the
Oh,
clarification
that's
here.
right. He's Han Solo's son.
Yes.
Kylo Ren born Ben Solo's son of Han Solo and Leia. And Leia
Yes.
is the daughter. Okay. God damn it.
Don't cut.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but he was, and he was magnificent in that. But he's not a for
Yes.
one. So we're not going to talk about him anymore.
Okay.
But Lena Dunham. Polarizing. But what I was saying about her cross 23, 43, 30, 29 juxtaposition cross of assimilation.
Uh-huh.
This is definitely somebody that is not Even she's a 4-1 and she's definitely not wired to think like other people
Mm-mm.
or to be like other people. It is very much what comes in, what she has to share, who she
Mm-hmm.
is. I mean,
Yes.
case closed.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever said that she was an emotional generator
We did
or if
not.
we discussed her channels.
Her channels being that 2343, as I said, that's in
Yes.
her Sun and Earth. She's got the 5027, which is preservation. So that's all about her tribe, her people, nurturing,
Mm-hmm.
providing support, and the 3955, notably emoting. And that is also, I think, clearly evident if you dig into her life and what she's experienced. That is that emotional wave, that
Mm-hmm.
moodiness. The I've seen that a lot in her public life of struggling with that, I would say, side of her nature, and how it's been hard for her to maybe output when she doesn't want to output, like things that are
Mm-hmm.
expected of her. It's been a challenge, and she's got completely open head and completely open G center.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I would think, would be a real, in everybody's chart there is going to be this conundrum or this tension somewhere around a lesson that you're here to really master or grapple with in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Being that 4-1 and being so solid in who you are, you can't bend, but then who are you? Because she has a completely open G center.
Yeah.
So I'm sure her identity is something that has changed, but also she's not changed. And you
Mm-hmm.
see it if you look over time of how she is. But, anyways, so those are the three examples we have. Anything else you want to say there?
Don't think so.
All right. So we covered all that. We covered all of the stuff with the 4-1. I think we've made the point here to go deep, what you want to follow, whatever it is you're interested in, what you feel called to do. You're always going to be who you are. People got to get on your train. You're not getting off your track. And know that you're here to be a great influence in your
Mm-hmm.
community and those around you. And don't go changing to try and please me. Another song, sorry. All the songs in my head at any given point in the day. No, you're here to have an impact and share it with your people. So honor that. All right. So that means we're coming to the end of the episode, which we always like to wrap it up in a certain way. So that means it is time for
The incarnation cross of the week.
whoop, whoop. That's right. Incarnation Cross of the Week. Here we go. Where we go deep on one incarnation cross out of the 192. One reason there is so many incarnation crosses, you can thank those of us who have juxtaposition crosses because there's 64 juxtaposition crosses because there's 64 gates. So each gate is going to have a juxtaposition cross. So all the other ones have either like four variations of it or two variations of it, right? So there's not as many pairings of numbers as far as
Mm.
the right angle and left angle crosses. I think there's something like 16 because it's mathy. You like it.
Mm-hmm.
You like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a doubling. So it's like 16 left angle crosses with the four, no, right angle. Sorry, right angle is the one, two, three.
Four,
16
four,
of
six.
those with four different variations. And then there's the 32 of the left angle crosses. And or is that right? 32? Yeah. And then
Mm-hmm.
64 of the juxtaposition crosses. You like that, Haley?
I
You
do.
like how that? I knew you would.
Although it is interesting how the four ones are like the smallest amount of profiles you're going to see, yet they have the most possibilities for juxtapositions. So I know if you think about it, like the maths, but like it just, it's
Gotcha.
interesting.
It is. All right. So we are looking at a juxtaposition cross today. I did pick this
Oh.
one particularly because I was curious. We are looking at the juxtaposition cross of contribution, which we said was Eminem's cross.
Mm, okay.
And so if you were born under the juxtaposition cross of contribution, you are a 4-1. Sun is in gate 32, continuity. Earth is in gate 42, growth. On the unconscious side, Sun is in gate 56, stimulation, and Earth is in gate 60, acceptance. You writing them down
Mhm.
today? What are you doing?
No, I had it. It's continuity, growth, something, and something.
Stimulation,
Stimulation and nope.
acceptance,
Acceptance.
acceptance.
Hmm.
Not feeling it.
No, it wasn't computing today.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on from that. Okay. So, if you were born under the juxtaposition cross of uh, contribution, like Eminem, you are here to be the steady, grounded force that makes long term success possible. Your role is to protect what matters, whether it's the vision, the resources, or the integrity of a mission, so it can endure beyond any storm. You have an instinct to preserve, to stabilize, and to maintain a secure foundation, not out of fear, but from a deep inner knowing that lasting impact requires care, commitment, and follow through. At your core, you're here to embody what it means to live without compromise. You hold space for true authenticity, not the fleeting performative kind, but the kind that's built day by day through trust, faith, and inner alignment. You show others how to stand tall in who they are, even when it's inconvenient or misunderstood. Your purpose is to anchor the future by being unwavering in your own value and to guide others in honoring their own. This is how you protect not just what's been built, but what is becoming.
Hmm. It's good. It's always
Got
good.
one shot.
Do not miss your chance to blow.
Whatever.
I think
We're
that's the
big
line.
Eminem.
Please don't quote us.
We're big Eminem fans. All right. We'll leave that there. Just a reminder again, make sure you're on the email list, connect with us, make sure you're always on top of all the happenings, and especially because I'm going to be kind of surveying my audience a little bit here on my email list of some things I have in the pipeline that I'm bringing forth. Even though I don't feel I'm ready, even though I'm nervous, it's not perfect and it's not right. It's too strong. I have to bring it out. So I would like a little bit of input there. So, but also so you can get on the list for our community calls.
Hmm.
I think, yeah, when this episode comes out, that will be like tomorrow. The next community call will be tomorrow, the
Hmm.
23rd. I think this will probably come out the 22nd.
I hope so,
Okay.
because we also talked about it in the very beginning of this episode.
I
So
think so. I think it is
I think
because
so.
it will be apropos because we will have two 4-1s in the room. Pick our
E.
brains if you want to know what it's like. Okay, so make sure you do that. And we thank you once again for indulging us, for listening. We hope we have in some way reciprocated that and given you something that is helpful to you. And until next time, Haley, bye for now.
Bye.
You made it all the way to the end of today's episode, so you must have liked what you heard. If you did, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode, and perhaps leave us a good review. And if you know someone who wants to dig into all things human design with us, make sure you share the Human Design Hive podcast with them. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks for listening.